sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
I just choked down chocolate chip cookies and Grandpa's femur. Femur.
We make money now?
No, we had to pay
So
them.
this episode, it's just too slippery. I'm slicing everything.
Every time I swing my 5-iron, it goes up that guy's ass.
Welcome to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's your host, Jim and Foo.
For a moment.
For a statement
from our LordFoo.
So I have two snippets here.
All right.
One from the George W. Bush statement on George Floyd's murder, and then I have another one on Barack Obama's essay that was on Medium.com entitled "How to Make This Moment the Turning Point in Real Change." So I'll start from a snippet from the George W. Bush statement, and then I'll finish with the Barack Obama one. Both of these I'll include the links so that you can read them in full. I encourage you to read them in full because hopefully there's something insightful there for you to pull from. So the snippet I'll start with is this. Many doubt the justice of our country, and with good reason. Black people see repeated violation of their rights without an urgent, adequate response from American institutions. We know that lasting justice will only come by peaceful means. Looting is not liberation, and destruction is not progress. But we also know that lasting peace in our communities requires truly equal justice. The rule of law ultimately depends on the fairness and legitimacy of the legal system, and achieving justice for all is the duty of all. This will require a consistent, courageous, and creative effort. We serve our neighbors best when we try to understand their experience. We love our neighbors as ourselves when we treat them as equals in both protection and compassion. There is a better way, the way of empathy and shared commitment and bold action and a peace rooted in justice. I am confident that together Americans will choose the better way. From Barack Obama's essay. So the bottom line is this. If we want to bring about real change, then the choice isn't between protest and politics. We have to do both. We have to mobilize to raise awareness, and we have to organize and cast our ballots to make sure that we elect candidates who will act on reform. Finally, the more specific we can make demands for criminal justice and police reform, the harder it will be for elected officials to just offer lip service to the cause and then fall back into business as usual once protests have gone away. The content of that reform agenda will be different for various communities. A big city may need one set of reforms. A rural community may need another. Some agencies will require wholesale rehabilitation. Others should make minor improvements. Every law enforcement agency should have clear policies, including an independent body that conducts investigations of alleged misconduct. Tailoring reforms for each community will require local activists and organizations to do their research and educate fellow citizens in their community on what strategies work best. And there you go. Those are the snippets. I will say from myself and you, both of us stand with the black communities in solidarity in the constant and needed push for equal justice, and that's where we plant our flags.
All right.
Welcome to Sad Dads Club podcast,
Episode 89.
Episode 89.
Interesting week.
Yeah,
And we're going early this week.
we are.
We're going a little early. We're a day early because of a birthday. We couldn't do our normal show.
Did I ask where you guys were going to go?
I think we're going to end up at my in-laws.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because...
Is it normally like he's 23?
Three? Yeah.
Oh, the Jordan.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so we're going a day early, so we're actually on a Tuesday today, but next week we'll be back to our regularly scheduled program.
I'm excited about next week, too.
I'm
not spilling any beans.
No, I thought about it, and I was like, just in case something doesn't...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're not going to say... But I'm excited about next week.
Yeah,
stick around, because next week should be really awesome. I'm excited.
I hope he I hope it's not hot as shit.
Right. Yeah. Because
We'll have to. Well, I don't know if we could do fans with the mics. But
yeah, I told Venus, I'm like, we got something coming.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, well, we got to clean the garage. Now, but that's what I told Jim.
I know. Well, I'm like, well, you can, we can do this like tomorrow on Tuesday. And he was like, well, I'll let you know around 1 tomorrow. I won't know. And I was like, hey, Jason, like, what do you... And Jason's like, absolutely not.
Yeah, no.
Not this
That's
week.
going to work.
Yeah.
I got it. And I'll tell you, the Venus said the same thing. She's like, well, you got to clean the garage. And I went, that's what I said.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I mean, in theory, we could have done it at my house.
Well, yeah.
In my garage.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, same, but not really. It's just a different studio space. Really.
Right. Our shit's mobile.
I think you just have to think about it as not a garage, but studio space. This is your studio space, and I have one that's less used.
It gets me off my ass because one of the things I had promised Piper for her birthday, which I'll get into a little bit longer, was having a couple of her friends over because we, 16.
Right.
We didn't get her. It's awkward times, obviously. Yeah. Thanks, COVID-19.
Yeah.
So we were going to turn the garage into a theater for her and a couple friends. And that means me putting up probably some curtains on the side to make it really nice and, cleaning up some shit because we need to get a little bit wider.
I think you do it more like
this gets me off my...
You set it up and then like you leave the power tools out, and when they're watching the movie... You just sneak around the curtain and then rah, rah, you like fire up.
You guys like chainsaws? Oh, you're watching Dirty Dancing. Fuck.
No, you should hide behind the meat hooks back there. That kind of thing.
It's safe.
Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
Is that what they're going to do?
I think so.
Oh.
I'm like, you watch the...
Have they watched it before?
The OG? Piper has.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, is it the new one or like the...
There's a new one?
Yeah, they did I don't know who's in it.
That sounds awful.
They did a remake, and then they did like a Cuban Nights or fucking Hot Havana or some shit. I don't know.
They did.
I didn't watch it.
It doesn't sound worthy.
No. I mean...
You can't take the original Dirty Dancing. I mean...
Have you seen it?
The original Dirty Dancing?
Right? Yes.
You can't change that with a remake?
No.
That's
one of those
ones.
That's
blasphemy.
Maybe like trying to... Like the whole... I saw them kicking around like rebooting Back to the Future. And I went, no.
Oh, my God. I'm out.
Hell no.
I'm already... you just mentioned it, and I'm out. I didn't even know that was a thing.
I'll let you slide with Ghostbusters. But fucking... Back to the Future is like one of those... Like, it would be someone trying to remake Forrest Gump.
Or like, Gone with the Wind.
Like, you can't. Did they not? I thought they did.
Oh, did they remake Gone with the Wind?
I think they just, like, replace every... Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe... I'm not a...
She left with a slight breeze, and it's just like different twist. It's all the same actors, but
God,
a slightly different title.
They just like green screen everything and just put whatever new backgrounds in.
Oh my God! Speaking of green screen, have you watched the Mandalorian behind the scenes stuff?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Absolutely crazy.
I have sat down no less than 3 times to look for it and ended up watching something else.
Oh, yeah? On Disney Plus?
Yeah, because I'll sit there and like, and then I'll get into the screen and I'll start like going through, and then I'll just, it's gone. Like, and I'll remember, that's why I was here. And then I'll start scrolling and then it's gone. Boop. And then it's like, then next thing you know, I'm watching Coco. You know what I mean? Or
God damn it.
What was I watched, the original Herbie the Love Bug.
Oh my God!
I watched that the other night, and that was a Mandalorian night lookup thing.
God damn it!
Not the Mandalorian, but the
behind the scenes.
The behind the scenes, and I went to go look for it, and I ended up watching the original Herbie the Love Bug.
You know what's funny about the Mandalorian thing is I thought it was a single. I thought it was just like a
one show,
like a one shot.
It's a series,
and so I had put put it in my watch list. And so the weekend where I told you I watched it, when I went to click in it, there had more stuff. It had 4, tiles, and I went,
oh,
there's well, more. I am pleasantly surprised about this because
this makes me happy.
Yes, this pleases me. And we got through a couple of the things where they went into, I think the last last tile of that week was where they were talking about the volume, which is the article. It is the set piece of that represents the article that you had sent me, where they're doing stuff projected on LED screens.
Yeah.
They call that thing the volume.
Okay.
And the articles that you and I are like both. I don't know about
Geeking
you,
out
but
on?
we geeked out on.
Yeah.
That is the tip of the iceberg on what that thing does.
Well,
It is way more awesome and way more groundbreaking than the articles lead it to believe. Absolutely amazing piece of tech.
It's like it's a thing where I feel like somebody said, "What if we?" And they like laid out what they wanted to do.
Jon Favreau is behind a lot of it.
That guy
He
is
took
brilliant.
stuff from things that he had wanted to see, as well as things that he had worked with on Jungle Book, the live-action Jungle Book.
Okay.
And stuff that was coming along when he was doing the Lion King live-action. That wasn't quite there yet. So he had progressed some stuff between Jungle Book and the Lion King. This is all in there. I'm totally spoiling it for you because you'll geek out once you start watching it.
Let's talk about Jon Favreau for a second, because it's amazing to me, because I love Swingers. That is, to me, like a brilliant film. Have you watched it?
It's been I would say decades.
Oh,
I haven't.
I have it on my phone
it.
if you want to watch it right now.
I've watched Chef
Uh-huh.
more times than I've watched Swingers.
Oh, I love Swingers. For me, I love that film. There's tons of things about it that are just brilliant.
Yeah.
And to think that was like one of his first projects where he like had to like really like he got all these people in there for cheap, and like everything was like budget, and then they just kind of got a little lucky with selling it and doing okay. He went from that, and to see the stuff that he's doing now, the creativity.
Oh, he's
like,
big brain.
Blossom thing.
Oh, yeah.
And like the tech involved that he's involved with, it's just impressive. That guy blows me away at how
I'm 100%. Like and it's a lot more once you start watching the stuff. He's a lot more big brain than even for me, than I had realized.
Yeah.
Like he's up there as far as director and understanding of a lot of the AV technologies pushing the boundaries.
Yeah.
A lot like Spielberg and Lucas were in their primes. Like he is right there trying to get to tell better stories in multiple mediums and bring them all together. Absolutely, it's a really good watch.
I mean, there's so many movies that I've watched, and then I go, "Oh shit, Jon Favreau was part of this." No wonder.
Yeah.
No wonder why I fucking love that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I need to go back and see Chef again, because I don't remember very much of it.
Oh, because food trucks.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I love that one to death, because that's the one that like gets me into food trucks one day. Making his Cubanos.
You and I were looking at the prices, man. They're expensive.
They are.
I was like going, because L.A. has a shit ton, and I was going through the L.A. area for food trucks, and it's like, here's a, X year, blah, 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 that's $130,000. And you're like, fuck.
What the fuck?
Damn.
I saw a couple like with like 1,000, like 1,111s across the thing. I'm like, no way. Nothing pissed me off more than to like click on something was like, wow, really? Click on it, into it, and it's like looking for a partner to work with. I'm like, but bitch, I want my own food truck. I don't want to work with you in there. I don't even know you. I'm like, fucking debated.
That would be the pinnacle of, I think, fun, is to have a food truck. I mean,
I am, and here's the thing, after, we've probably gone a year plus after having made our top 5, top 10 car list. In hindsight.
A food truck is on there
in
now.
hindsight, I think some of the scope that we made, I'm going to totally sneeze. In some of the widening of the scope that we made, because Tesla's for the kids, or, something I put together. I would think at this point I would have to, if I was being true to the heart kind of thing, a food truck has to be in there because while it's not necessarily something that I'm hooning around and ripping donuts with or tearing curves and cush ride and touring with, a food truck is part of who I am as a culinary aficionado as much as I am as a automobile aficionado.
Yeah.
Those two put together make a food truck.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would be remiss if I didn't have a food truck in my top 10. I would have to put something out.
Well, did we do a top 5?
I think it was, but I think we all went
So
all the
would
way
it make
to
the
10.
top 5?
It would not make the top 5.
It still wouldn't.
But top 10, I would make room for it in top 10.
Well, there's a lot of different kinds of food trucks. To be honest, I mean, you have the kitchens on those things are like, anything goes.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can have all different manners of equipment on them. So is there some setup of equipment? Have you even thought about that?
I hadn't really thought,
because I would think it would be really cool to have a food truck that had a wood burning pizza oven in it.
See, but then you have to haul wood.
Yeah, but I'm thinking also a food truck that I can tow a smoker behind too. So that's not that big of a deal.
No. But now you're trailering.
Yeah, well, that's great.
Fuck it. That's what I'm selling. That's
well,
my
here's
good shit.
Here's what makes me think of it, because we were in Orange County several months ago, and we were out doing stuff, and we were kind of headed back to the hotel, and we decided we're going to go back to the hotel and we're going to get in the spa. But some people didn't have their bathing suits, so we had to make a stop.
Okay.
And so some of us went to go get bathing suits, and the boys all went to the liquor store to get booze, right? So we go to the liquor store, and we go in, and we're getting like those balls. What are those called?
Booze balls.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever those are called.
Not foos balls. Booze balls.
Anyway, we're getting that kind of shit and some other stuff. And when we come out, there's truck a pickup truck with a thing on the back backing into the spot, and they have a Weber sitting on the back of the truck, like on a platform
in the trailer hitch.
No, maybe
I had one of those for the RV,
but it was smoking. They were cooking ribs and shit on it.
Yeah.
And then they were like, we got ribs. And people came out of the woodwork to buy. And I remember they gave me, I asked, I was just curious about the pricing. And they gave me they had a menu, a full fucking menu.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fucking brilliant. These guys are making their dream happen.
Yeah,
with basically a Weber barbecue on the back, not a coal fired or whatever.
Yeah,
briquette barbecue, not a gas one.
Well, I mean, if you can cook food, fuck it, and it's good.
I just thought that was interesting.
Well, okay, so here we go. We're going down the rabbit hole. Here we go.
There's a rabbit hole here. I knew it. I was waiting for this.
Give me. Do you have your top 3, like what would be your menu item? Like what are you trying to nail down? Like your thing.
Like I would think it's sort of comfort style food.
Okay.
So the things that I enjoy a lot is we make at my house, for instance, we use the Belgian waffle maker, and we make these insane hash brown waffles.
Okay.
They're insane.
Okay.
And they are every bit food truck / restaurant quality hash brown waffle that you make with cheese in there and like egg and like salt and pepper, and even maybe you want some jalapeno into this mix, and that all goes into the waffle maker.
Yeah.
Then when it comes out, you throw, because now your cheese is caramelizing. You cook it till it's crispy.
Yeah.
Everything's nice and hot. You get it out of the thing, and then you put like salsa and sour cream and cheese and maybe some fresh jalapeno, like the whole gamut of that kind of stuff. Hot sauce.
Yeah.
And it is amazing. I would love to make one for you sometime.
Okay.
It's that good. Like, the kids fucking love it.
Okay.
And I don't know where I got it. I just had this like, why don't I try doing this in the waffle maker? And cheese and like crack an egg in there and mix it all up real good. Put some oil on the grill, the waffle maker, and just let it go. Now, the problem with it is it does take a little longer because it's potato.
Yeah.
But it takes a little longer for it to cook and get crispy on the outside. But oh my gosh, it's insanely good. So that kind of thing. And then I forget what was I talking about the other day?
Is it a prison?
No.
Nailed it.
I was talking about something the other day. I can't remember what it was, but we had made, and it was just phenomenal. And I was like, fuck, this could be another menu item. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like that kind of stuff. I could see that kind of stuff like doing really well.
Yeah, yeah.
To the point to where I have even priced commercial waffle irons.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How expensive are they?
It depends. I mean, you can get them as low as like $200.
What makes them commercial? Just like waffle, like surface area, or?
I think the way they heat and a lot of them are the flipping kind.
Oh, okay.
You don't necessarily need that for this because that's for doing like the batter.
Right.
But they're anywhere from like $250 up to $3,000.
Yeah.
Depending on what you get, if there's like doubles or the cook surface is sometimes bigger.
Right.
If they close and flip, they're expensive. If they have a built-in timer, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's all manners of different flavors of those. But some one of these days I'll have to have you over and make those because they are really good.
Really good?
Yeah.
So how do you eat it? Just
it's
fist it like a burrito, or?
No, it's basically a waffle on your plate.
Oh, okay.
It just looks like a waffle, except it's made out of like hash brown
And
potatoes
stuff.
and cheese and stuff.
I think we've talked about it. So have you been to that like savory waffle place that's out of Folsom?
Yeah.
So it's that kind of thing. It's not like a sweet maple syrup type of thing. It's like a savory hearty.
It's a hearty. It's a waffle, but it's made out of hash browns, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a waffle, but
potato
it's,
waffle.
Yeah.
Waffle shape.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing. Sometimes you put cooked chorizo, and then put chorizo in with the potatoes or bacon.
Oh shit, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, you could do so many different things with them. And I was thinking like a commercial waffle maker might just cook quicker.
Right.
Give you a little bit faster cook time.
But it doesn't?
I don't know.
Oh.
No, I mean, I have no idea. I just assume that would be the case. Maybe a little bit more consistency on the cook time. But that's the kind of stuff I would love to do.
Yeah.
Know.
That's the good stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the waffles are, it's the size of two full size, because you put it in the entire thing.
Yeah.
With all the stuff and like fucking avocado or maybe guacamole on top. Dude. And you don't have to just do Mexican style things. You can do anything you want.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Fucking,
yeah.
I would have probably my ribs.
Yeah.
I would do ribs.
Okay.
I would carry tri-tip.
Yeah.
Like a teriyaki and then a normal. And then Venus makes like a homemade coleslaw that's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm like a total coleslaw snob. I have to try it.
Yes, do it.
I want
It's
to.
fucking nuts. It's like instead of sugar, she uses pineapple juice.
Oh, delicious.
So it doesn't. It's more tangy. I like a tangy coleslaw.
I don't like bland coleslaw.
And probably fried chicken.
Yeah.
Like it's comfort food stuff.
Yeah.
But it's all stuff that like I nail.
Yeah.
I enjoy nailing those things.
See, I think it'd be
and grilled cheese.
Uh-huh.
So my like kid thing would be grilled cheese and not so sourdough bread grilled cheese and like a cheese mix blend, not just a piece of Colby slice.
Yeah.
Like so it would be like a boutique grilled cheese
Absolutely.
for the kids.
Okay.
Like fucking, and there you go. That's it.
And I think the bread has to be very porousy and to get it crispy. And
Yeah.
have a lot of texture.
Yeah,
in
and
it.
they do that in that's where I went off the rails because they do that in Chef. He makes his daughter, I think, like one of these like boutique. It's got like 3 or 4 different types of cheese in it.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the behind the scenes and the I can't remember the professional chef that they had on set. We're teaching John how to make one, and it was like it's intense. Like you butter it, turn it over. When it starts to brown, and then you go on the other side, and you're rebuttering. Like the concept of if you haven't tried that, if you haven't made your grilled cheese, and you want to see it done crazy nuts, watch Chef.
Yeah.
Because and if you've never rebuttered after you've flipped, or you haven't flipped multiple times, you're missing out. And especially if you're using sourdough.
So rebutter.
So you
I don't.
So you butter both sides, right? And then you're grilling it. Once you flip, and you end up with
he's buttering again.
You butter it again because you're going to go back over on top of it. And your last flip, you still lightly butter, and it is a different grilled cheese than you will ever have if you just never rebutter.
Yeah.
And you're not using probably like a sourdough or a porous bread.
I want to say I only got through maybe a show and a half of Chef. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a while ago.
Yeah. And so the guy like teaching him, like there's a whole lot of like lift up peeking, like where's my making sure it's.
What kind of bread does he use?
I think it's sourdough.
Oh, it is sourdough.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what other breads you can use, but like, and then the cheese blend is off on its own fucking tangent too. It's like, oh, you've got your grated, not packaged, already shredded stuff. Grate it yourself. Your Gruyere, Fontina, Parmesan, your cheddar. If you're gonna get Walmart style, you throw an American cheese slice on there. But when you get that just right, I mean, essentially the cheeses turn into like a fucking bechamel sauce in between.
Right.
Oh my God. And then you're rebuttering.
And you start with a hot
it's
griddle or pan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
You're making me hungry.
Yeah. It's probably totally terrible for your arteries.
Butter. Well, the other one that I heard is using mayonnaise on the bread.
You can use that too. Yeah.
But
I haven't done that one.
I read an interesting article from a guy that was talking about
but it's fat.
Don't fucking use mayonnaise on your bread, and here's why. Because when it cooks up, it doesn't leave behind the flavor like butter does.
Well, probably not, but butter is not going, and if you're not butter, you're not going to leave behind a butter taste.
True.
Yeah.
But I always heard that the reason why you would use, I haven't tried it, but the reason why you would use it is because it crisps up real good, but I don't know if that's the case or not.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Something else I've picked up in watching stuff lately too, a number of cooking things, is the adding of butter. Like when you're cooking something with a high smoke point, like you're frying something or you've got like a hot pan, let's say like searing a steak, searing a steak, to oil it and include butter. And the common conception for me is you just use butter. It's just one type of fat.
Yeah.
But the oil, I use a lot of avocado oil now because it has a high smoke point, and it's not too terrible for you.
Yeah.
The oil with a high smoke point helps keep the butter from burning and browning. So if you oil, specifically for a steak type of thing, if you oil the pan and put butter in it, you get the flavor of the butter without the drawbacks of the high temperature completely obliterating your butter and leaving you with burnt taste.
Yeah.
I'm like, so that's why it's like almost like an insulator for your butter.
Interesting.
Something to think about.
You do that with steak too?
Yeah. Or like even, if I'm sautéing vegetables.
Yeah.
Where it calls for olive oil or something, because your hot pan,
olive oil,
and
is
you're
not
tossing
a hot temp,
right? So if you're someone that's like, oh well, I don't want to set shit off, or this thing's calling for me to have a higher temperature on my pan than I don't like the smoke. Using something like avocado oil, and you certainly wouldn't want to use butter if you're like trying to get something like that, but you can use the oil to allow you the fry part, the saute part, and a high hot pan.
Yeah.
Toss the butter in, and you don't necessarily have to be too concerned with the burnt butter tainting the taste of whatever it is that you're doing.
I did not know that.
Oil and butter.
I mean,
it's good stuff.
Chalk it up to something I didn't know for the day.
Hey, that was a new one too, like the last couple of months. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to do that food truck thing.
Food truck.
Although I got to imagine if you were a food truck in Sacramento area and it was hot summer, that would suck. You know what I mean?
It would, but if you were that guy that was trailering a pit, you just put up an umbrella with
True.
You're already running a generator, just run a fan and some misters and you know. And you're just out there barbecuing.
Now
I were already barbecuing the fucking heat. It's like,
that's true.
Put me on some pavement, whatever.
Oh my gosh, I went out and grilled some stuff last week when it was really hot.
Yeah.
And man, just with the grill open, I was just by the time
melting.
5 minutes in, I was pouring sweat. It was brutal. Now there's a food truck that I want to try sometime, but the problem is they're up the 50 corridor, and it's Shorty's Donuts.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been following them on social media for a while.
Yeah.
And they're always like up in El Dorado Hills and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff they post, it's like, oh shit, I want to try that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Oh damn. And I'll see the message, oh, we're sold out for the day. It's like,
so close. So
well,
far.
I mean, I've never taken the time. Tomorrow we're gonna go get because their donuts change every day or week or whatever. However often they go out, they have new stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't even know what they're gonna have. So it's like I'd have to tell my wife tomorrow morning we're gonna get up early and we're gonna find the Shorty's donut truck.
Yeah.
And then just go to wherever they are. 'Cause they could be up in Placerville.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You never know.
But they sell out frequently?
Yeah.
God, I'd be so leery of driving around a truck, especially up in those hills.
With all the oil. I guess
I'm sure it's like a boat, and they probably just keep it down, or they empty it into a container and then get to a location and fill it. I'm sure that's probably what it is.
Yeah, I wonder.
At least I hope so.
I know
because I know I wouldn't be able to make those turns with a fucking.
Well, they have lids on
fryer.
those, but I don't know if they're
sealed
or not.
Seal.
Yeah, I wouldn't think you'd want to empty them all the time, but that sounds like a hassle.
That's part of I would not want to have fries and stuff like that as sides.
Oh, because of
the oil. I can't stand. That's one. We used to have one of those an air fryer is not the same.
No,
I'm sorry.
No, they're not.
Congratulations. No, it's not.
If you're not immersing it in oil.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the carnage.
Hot
right?
oil.
You need to commit to that shit.
Yep.
And then you're like Venus. 2-3 weeks back, she made a lot of recipes from Disneyland. We're making the churro recipe was one of them.
Oh yeah.
She got sent or ran across the Disneyland recipe for corn dogs.
Okay. You've got my interest.
Oh fuck yeah! And so she and we couldn't find cornmeal. Cornmeal, like toilet paper, could not be found anywhere.
Oh.
It was like one of those staples that went gone.
Well, I know
the first 3
all the
weeks
baking
of the
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cornmeal was gone.
Okay.
And we had compromised ours with creepy crawlies or something.
You mean she didn't run all over town looking for cornmeal?
Hey, pandemic. You don't run over anywhere. All over anyone.
Anywhere.
Hashtag wash your hands. Hashtag wear your mask. Hashtag return the cart. Hashtag wash your ass. Hashtag do your part.
Do your part.
Nailed it. So we couldn't find cornmeal, so we had been pushing it off.
Yeah.
She finally had cornmeal.
Okay.
Found it, made it. They were amazing.
Yeah.
As you would expect. But then it's like, well, who wants to clean up the oil?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like one night. It's a one night.
Yeah.
We don't have a deep fryer. We made it in like a big Dutch oven kind of thing, or a big saucepan. So now you've got all this oil. You're not having corn dogs tomorrow night.
No.
We've made all the corn dogs.
Yeah.
So
What
now
do you do with it?
now you've got, 3+ quarts of fucking oil. And it's like,
That's
well,
like
that's
if you-
it. Now it's done.
You
Game
deep
over.
fry a turkey. I mean, what do you do with all the oil after you've dropped turkey in there for an hour? Or
You just
45
tell one
minutes
of
or
your
whatever.
relatives, they've got to. It's like, did you enjoy free dinner? You're just here for the free fucking turkey. Handle the fucking oil.
I mean, I've done it, but it's
Punk
like
ass uncle.
it feels wrong to be. I mean, that's a lot of oil.
It is.
And I mean, it's sort of like when you cook bacon and you have all that oil in the pan.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do with? I mean, I just put it in. I literally I wait till it's cool, and then I pour it in a Ziploc,
Yeah.
and I put it in the trash because you can't put it down the drain.
Yeah, we keep like spaghetti jars.
Oh.
So we have like a grease jar.
Okay.
But sometimes when I'm doing big stuff, we'll drain it, let it solidify,
Yeah.
and then I'll take some of the fat and I'll keep it in a small jar in the refrigerator
Yeah.
as like flavoring for a dish. Like,
Yeah.
just add a little spoonful.
Well, that doesn't work at my house.
Right, that would be problematic with
Oh, you want me to?
non-metasaurus.
Yeah.
Do you like those green beans?
Hey, honey, you want me to throw some bacon grease in with your egg?
Yeah,
your fried egg.
frijoles.
No,
Frijoles with bean sauce.
she won't do that. I mean, we're even doing vegetarian beans, like refried beans.
Aren't beans
No,
vegetarians?
nope. They have lard in them.
Oh,
Typically.
animal lard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Yeah, but dealing with the oil stuff is that's problematic. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's a mess. And, I'm sure the air fryers sound good and they do well.
Do you have one?
No,
Oh, we have one.
I can't.
They do a pretty good job on some stuff. At least
Yeah,
ours
it wouldn't
is
surprise
all right.
me. I mean, they're like convection oven on steroids,
Yeah,
right?
basically.
Yeah,
I'm always a little disappointed because it seems like it takes longer than it should to cook stuff,
right.
considering it's a freaking concentrated thing with a blower in there circulating
If
air,
I had
hot
a
air.
food truck, I would deep fry more stuff, I guess.
Yeah, but you'd be
hypothetically.
selling it and not eating it.
Right.
So I think that's all right. I mean, you'd have to eat some of it.
Right. I got to taste it.
Yeah.
That's,
I mean, I like good wings. You got to deep fry them to get the,
Yes.
in my opinion, to get the
Yes.
outside nice and crispy.
yes.
If you don't deep fry them, no.
Yeah. You cook them in the oven. Yeah, that's convenient. But like
It's
a
not the same.
real
Yeah.
properly seasoned wing needs like fried chicken.
Now, saying that, I did do some wings in the air fryer one time, and the trick was to use, I think it was potato starch.
Okay.
You can buy that on its own,
Yeah.
and then you coat the wings in potato starch and whatever other stuff you want to put with it,
Right.
and then you drop those in the air fryer,
Mm-hmm.
and they came out super crispy.
Really?
And they were delicious. They were very good. I was impressed. Almost as good as deep frying them. I mean, just slightly.
It was like, so potato starch? Like
think
in a
that's what it
shaker?
was.
Or-
It came in like a bag, and then you just coat them all, and then drop them in the air fryer.
We ran
it
into,
was really good.
We had ordered wings ways back before this all started. We like the Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
The store. We get wings from there on occasion.
Yeah.
One of their seasonings, it was like their salt and vinegar. We usually get it like, oh, you have fries, toss the salt and vinegar spice stuff on it. I had wild hair was at Amazon and just salt and vinegar spice, like salt and vinegar.
Uh-huh.
There's a company that sells the seasoning pouches
Uh-huh.
that name for name match
What
a
they
couple
have.
of the seasonings that
Uh-huh.
Buffalo Wild Wings has.
Interesting.
So I bought the salt and vinegar one, and I think it's chili and lime.
Okay.
We have pounded through the salt and vinegar one because it's like you put it on it. It's a normal spice. Put it on anything.
Yeah.
Good on popcorn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Salt and vinegar popcorn. Fuck yeah.
We make a lot of popcorn at my house.
Do you?
Oh, a shit ton.
Yeah.
Literally.
Salt and vinegar.
Probably 4 or 5 times a week.
The chili lime is really good for like when I grill chicken.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit too spicy for Venus, but for me, it's like on the low end.
Right.
But there's some there. For
Yeah.
her, it's like a little too much.
Yeah.
But for me, I think I hear hashtag hi Kim when you get to here. And she just drop something off. Speaking of Kim,
Yeah.
this is totally wait. I don't want to change.
I think I had a thought.
I don't want to change gears that fast. So if you're watching the YouTube episode, and
Yeah.
so since we're still talking about cooking,
Yeah.
so I got a name tag.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So I won't tell you what's on the name tag yet, because I'll tell you the backstory part of it. So my daughter, this goes all the way back to Mother's Day. So typically for Mother's Day, which we talked about, it's like chef dad day. Like I'll cook whatever Venus wants. It's like a pamper thing.
I'm waiting for you to come over and do this for me.
Right. Yeah, oh, yeah. I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna start outsourcing this. Maybe. So it's like pamper, do whatever you want, cook whatever you want.
Yeah.
So this year, specifically because we've been locked down, I made it funny haha with a TheLordFoo's bistro,
Yeah.
and I had a sign, and Xander decorated it, and I had these little fairy lights that I hung around it. It was a little lit up sign. It was really funny. In order to like make it a little bit more special, I bought a chef jacket, like the white button-up, double-breasted looking thing, and the chef hat. Just to,
Yeah.
why not? This is chef coat.
Yeah.
Fucking why not?
Yeah.
It just makes it a little bit more special.
Right.
I'll
do that for No, I won't.
No, you won't. For me, to get a little bit, introspective on it, as far as gifts for Mother's Day and whatnot and things like that, it's like one of the most valuable things that I have right now to give is time. So to put out like the commitment and time and to like sell a gift of whatever talents you may, however you want to describe it, in like cooking something for the house, it's like I'm gonna go top notch because this is what I have to give. This is the most valuable thing I have to give.
At the moment,
at the moment is my time.
Yeah.
So I had the chef jacket and the chef hat for Mother's Day. Did the thing. So for Piper's, the same offer was made to her. So her sweet 16 years old. Obviously we're in pandemic, social distance lockdown. To go above and beyond and have a big old party was out of bounds. It was no go. So she got the same offer Venus did. Like, what's on your menu? I'll do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Cook whatever you want. Nail it. So we put up the sign again. I put on the chef jug. We cooked. I can't remember what her breakfast was. Oh, she wanted like really fancy scramble. So it was like, well, what do you want in your ingredients? I took as a menu. I took orders.
Yeah.
What do you want in yours? What do you want in yours?
Did you ever have to say, we don't have any of that?
Oh, we're all out of that. We ran out of that last night.
Yeah,
and we had a mad dinner rush.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
we didn't get a truck today.
But what I had missed from hers that I had ordered and didn't arrive was my name tag. I had bought a name tag that says Chef Foo and TLF Bistro. So I had wanted to wear it to like help, but it didn't arrive in time.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, that's a sad story. But now I have it, and I've got Xander. Xander would be next. Xander's birthday. He'll have the full gamut. He'll have the dad and the chef coat, chef hat, and a name tag of the chef.
Will you also bust out the ordained card and be like...
Also, if you need to talk to Jesus, Buddha, Shiva, pick a god, I don't know. I got all of them here.
Apparently.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but that would have been funny. Reverend, Chef, Mr. Foo.
Yeah.
Just put all the titles on there?
Yeah.
I should have. Shit.
Damn it.
Damn it.
I have to order another one. You could just 3D print one.
Probably, yeah. But then I'll have like this, almost like a military medals placard hanging from
some ropes
from my breast.
hanging from your shoulders.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's my name tag. I'll put a picture. And if you watch
your name
a YouTube
tag and it's sticking to you?
Yeah. Well, I'm wearing it for the show because fucking...
Why not?
It is what it is.
You bought it.
Yeah. Then where was I going to go? Oh, for Kim.
Yeah.
I 3D printed because she works out in Davis at location, and she has to wear a mask for, precautionary measures and whatnot. But she wears hers all day.
Uh-huh.
So she was asking for ear savers. And if you don't know what the ear savers are, they're the things that, like, it's almost like a partial headband that goes behind your head.
I've
and
seen people have
it
those.
grabs the stuff that goes over your ears, and it kind of moves them up away from the actual top of and bottom of your ears, and it relieves pressure there.
The ear tension.
Right. So I had bought...
that would be uncomfortable.
It would. I can only imagine. I mean, I wear mine...
At the grocery store
At the
for
grocery
20
store,
minutes.
and it's uncomfortable. So she has to wear hers all day. So I bought some flexible filament for my 3D printer. I hadn't dabbled in this before, but I'm like, well, you do this is for family.
I have a 3D printer.
I have a 3D printer, and this is family, so I got to get this shit. It's crazy.
Is it?
So it's. Do you remember the perfect example of this? Do you remember jellies
Yes.
from like probably high school, younger than high school?
Yeah.
For ladies, they were like slippers, but it was almost like silicone. They were squishy.
Yeah.
I remember them because my sister had them, and they just had this weird like squishy, but they always boink, bounce back to shape.
Yeah.
That's what this stuff feels like.
Now, is it like that after printing too?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So it's really flexible as like a filament, like you just kind of like wet noodle.
Okay.
I did not quite get how it was gonna
feed in
because
That's interesting.
It bunches really easy.
Uh-huh.
Like it did it. I mean, it took me a while to dial in speeds and whatnot, and then once it printed it fine.
Uh-huh.
And I printed her, so it's got like spikes to grab the ear loops.
Sure.
And the center is a little medallion, and it had the Baby Yoda, the child, like an impression of that right in the middle.
Nice.
So it's like, hey.
So did you find a print
from Thingiverse?
Okay.
Yeah. So I just went on Thingiverse, typed in ear saver.
Okay.
And Jesus. I mean, and that's part of the awesomeness of the 3D community, modeling and printing community. It was like when healthcare workers and everyone else who needed PPE were short. There was I know Argonaut, #HiArgonaut, helped print stuff. People with sewing machines were sewing the masks.
Yeah.
Making the shield mounts for some PPE masks with the plastic shields.
Yeah.
The 3D modeling community was knocking out these things and putting them out for free.
Yeah.
And then people were printing them, and like in bulk, people with print farms were printing them. You had Good Samaritans like Argonaut and myself, like printing batches and like, who wants these? Where can I mail them?
Right.
And like someone will sanitize them and then dole them out as according, there she goes.
That's pretty cool.
So for her, it's like, why not? It's amazing. Hopefully they, I don't know the durability. It's a net new for me, the flexible filament, but they were very floppy.
So is there some some learning curve in like getting it to print with the right temperature and that kind of stuff, or is it?
It was like
did
I
you
said.
have to look it up? Like, how does this stuff work?
Well, it comes with like some directions on the box, like, hey, these are our recommendations for temperature, and then you kind of have to dial it in. Not necessarily on your own, but for me, it's like, well, I know my printer, and then you're kind of tweaking stuff.
Sure.
As you go. If I had gotten in trouble, I certainly probably would have leveraged one of the copious like 3D printing communities. But I didn't. It was just kind of like me knowing where my printer was at, and then like, too fast, not hot enough, some. And once I got it, then it worked. 15 minutes or so for one.
Mm-hmm. That's not bad.
Oh,
That's cool.
I printed out 4.
Yeah.
And, like, go nuts. Let me know.
She been using them?
I handed them, or I dropped them off Sunday.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't heard. So I don't know if she is already back at work. It was kind of like a preparedness, because I think if she wasn't already, like this week, it was maybe next week she's going back. So it was like making sure she had them before she
was going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she commutes to Davis every day?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know what that's like.
Yeah.
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 And it's worse now. It's worse than it was. In fact, I even started adjusting my my hours. I started going in at 7 and coming home at 4 just to avoid traffic. It was that bad.
Are we talking Grass Valley or when you're commuting to Davis?
To Davis.
Oh.
Yeah. No, the traffic was horrendous.
Are you still telecommuting?
Mm-hmm.
When do you go back to...
Don't know.
Oh.
Official word is they're going to wait and reevaluate on the 13th. But everyone's already there. It's kind of like everyone's already working.
Next week. That's
like 2 weeks.
2 weeks out?
Yeah. Everyone's already working at home, so just keep doing what you're doing, kind of a thing. But it's kind of cool because we actually shipped a thing. Like my team shipped a brand new product this week.
Yeah.
No,
I'm a fan.
Last week, actually.
I'm telling you, I'm a fan. Like everything that you've said, it'll be interesting how things go.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Everything you've described about how they're conducting care and procedures for you guys there has like...
they've come out with a couple of, we haven't talked much about this recently, but they've come out with a couple of follow-up messages like, okay, so we were allowing, because I'm in the engineering building, so we have two buildings. We have a manufacturing and like admin and support and that kind of building. Like manufacturing's on one floor, and then all the other stuff and like the support and like the purchasing and like our exec people are all in the top floor of that building, and then I'm in the engineering building, which is the other building, and that's 100% engineering. So in our building, at least, they have, initially it was only 3 people when they were starting to allow people back in the building, 3 people per floor, period. Now it's up to 5 people per floor.
Okay.
And you actually have to like get approval from your manager to go in. Like, hey, I need to go in and do some work. How about Tuesday? Is that cool? You know, and then we have an open slot on Tuesday, so go ahead and go in on Tuesday. And then that slot gets filled, and if somebody needs to come in on Tuesday and it's full, they just can't. They have to wait till another date. So whatever it is they have to do, they just have to wait. The other building, like they've done like split shifts, where they've limited the number of people per shift, so they can still manufacture things but it's a little bit hard because they're having supply issues and stuff like that. But they are getting stuff out the door, and then of course, you know, like getting paid from some people right now is really difficult. So it's been interesting, but there's been a couple of updates from the management team regarding all that stuff. So it's been really cool. You know, face masks are required when you're out and about in the buildings, and you have to wash your hands constantly. It's like they have this very rigid, you can eat in the lunchroom, but you must be a minimum of 6 feet away.
Right.
You know, kind of a thing. And we prefer that you eat at your desk.
Right.
That kind of stuff for lunch. Yeah. I haven't been in a while. It's been weeks since I've been up at the office. I probably need to go up and get some hardware pretty soon. But I have been fortunate enough that I haven't had to go up.
Right.
Which is great because it just saves me a ton of gas money and wear and tear in the car.
Right.
But it's been interesting. Been very interesting. And then, you know, like we'll get a message that'll say like, okay, so here's what's going on now. We're just going to continue to do what we're doing. We're going to reevaluate in 2 weeks, you know, and so that's kind of where we're at now. And so that's why the June 13th figure has come up.
Seems like a good mark to set, to look for.
Yeah, and like I said, it's sort of they're sort of the opinion like, well, you're already working at home. Everything's going fairly well from that standpoint. So just keep doing what you're doing, and then, you know, we'll just take it as it comes.
Yeah,
and it's been pretty good, I think.
It'll be interesting to see how
how it if it goes back to normal at all.
Like what becomes normal? And I think that's probably a hypothetical that's just a little too hard to gauge without a vaccine.
It totally is.
Because it's like, well, without a vaccine, who cares? Like, why? Oh, God. Random Chihuahua.
Was it Nacho?
Yeah, the ghost of Nacho.
Uh-huh.
Adios, mío. Oh.
Well, mi amigos.
Yeah. Adios, mío. It's hard to gauge. Like, why would you waffle when you don't necessarily know if there's a seasonal impact or change and no vaccine yet?
Yeah.
It's like, maybe we just status quo for a bit. Just let it ride.
Yeah.
If the company was struggling with deliverables, which it doesn't sound like they are because you're turning out a product.
Yeah, we like I said last week, we shipped a brand new thing, the Key Pro Ultra 12G. That was months in the works, obviously. Shipped that last week. There's it's on the website already. We've got orders for it.
Oh.
I mean, so it's not awful, but like I said, there are some supply chain related things that they're having trouble getting some parts.
Mm-hmm. To be expected, though. I mean, no one should be shocked and awed about a shipping delay or. Yeah,
so it's really there was some really good news, some fairly good news in the last email we got.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good. That was encouraging. Of course, there are all the negative. There's
also
the other side of that is a lot of negative news.
Right.
But the good news list has definitely grown since the last.
As people start to get their foot, get used to their new norm.
Yeah.
It's like, how do I? Okay. Yeah, I got it.
It's tough all the way around. I mean, we'll be in one of our engineering meetings, and there's one of our engineers who I get the sense that he struggles a lot with the situation that he's in, and a lot of that is brought in, but from what I can understand, like social media stuff. Like, he spent the weekend pouring over social media, which I just don't think is a good idea all the time. And you have to get away from that.
Yeah.
I try not to spend too much time in the social media realm, especially considering everything that's going on. It's just not, there's so much that comes in so fast, and you can really get yourself bogged down in it.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So I have to kind of like pull away from it, or just kind of like be disinterested to a certain extent, because otherwise I think it'd affect me too. But some people don't do that, or they can't.
Well, it's like we've seen in a couple of the hangouts. You start getting into the weeds, and like Will, he knows his limit.
Yeah.
He'll be like, "I'm done. I can't. No more."
He did. He said the other night. I can't do this anymore.
It's smart to be able to. You gotta at some point. Some of the news it starts to get away real fast if you're not like, especially if it's late at night. You don't want to, if you're trying to, like, I'm going to go to bed. I need to start winding this stuff down, and I have less of a control to be able to do that.
Now, speaking of that, going to bed, yesterday was a little bit of a unique for us because where I live, we're fairly close to a couple large businesses. And the rumor mill kicks in, and I don't know if this is social media fueled, if it's just word of mouth, but we're also hearing it from people who are law enforcement people. And so when you start to hear it from what I would consider to be a credible source, would be the law enforcement people, because they're in this stuff every day, and you start hearing some of this stuff, and considering how close we are to the things that were rumored to be hit, it's like, and then you hear stuff like, oh, they want to bring it into Roseville and
to the
suburbs and stuff, and it's like, well, fuck, I'm really close to that shit. And not only do they want to hit those businesses, but then they also want to bring it into the homes and stuff.
Right.
And I'm thinking, are we going to get overrun somehow? Like, this feels very scary. It was very overwhelming yesterday.
Yeah.
to the point to where I was like talking to some of my neighbors, like, "Hey, have you heard? I don't know if you've heard anything. What have you heard?
Seen anything?"
And so and then it was like we were sort of in the situation where, like, we have kind of sort of gone back to the thing that we were doing prior to the pandemic, which was basically kind of like buying groceries as we need them, right? Not stocking up.
Right.
And getting a bunch of shit and then like hunkering down at home. We were kind of like getting out and getting groceries and bringing it home as we need it.
Right.
Sort of the way we buy toilet paper.
Right.
Oh, we've got like a roll and a half left. Well, shit, I better go to the store and get some more toilet paper.
Right.
Someone's walking around shitty-butted. You know what I mean?
Oh, no.
So, and we were like evaluating, like, we really don't have much in the way of groceries. And if shit's going to go sideways, we better have some fucking food in the house, because who knows when we're going to, if something gets torched and looted and destroyed, when's it going to reopen? So I feel like some of that was just fueled by that social media thing. And so we ended up going to the store and getting a bunch of stuff. And I felt pretty good about having some food in the house. And then it was just like nothing ever happened.
Right. Yeah.
But it was still scary.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And who was I? I think I was talking to Mike. It's hard to see wherever your stance is relative to the goings-ons of 2016. There was a pretty large like disinformation campaign that went on that kind of played on both sides, kind of thing. Like, one entity or multiple entities essentially fueling and instigating both sides to go at each other, and then just kind of like sitting back and watching the show.
Right.
There have started to be the same kind of instances for this, for the not only for COVID, but for a lot of the protests going on relative to the Black Lives Matter stuff.
Right.
As far as protests, looting, rioting, destruction of property and whatnot. There's been a lot of fake organization things. They're like, meeting here, fuck the man, break the stuff. And then a lot of like, you're not us, we're that.
Yeah.
And we're not going to even be there.
Right.
But if you don't see a follow-up, whether or not it actually happens, you're in your boat.
Yeah.
Where all you have is an information from someone who, to the best of their honesty, is under the impression that this thing is going to happen.
Well, and that was the other thing, is we're monitoring all the official channels, right? The Roseville Twitter, the Roseville Facebook, the RPD Facebook and Twitter, like Rockland, our next door neighbor city, Placer County Sheriff. Like, we're monitoring all that stuff. Right. In addition to, I downloaded a scanner app on my phone and found the closest agency that I could find, because apparently Roseville's not in there. But there was a Placer County law enforcement agency or whatever. Listen to that. And that's when I found out, which was fucking nuts because I'd never heard of this happening before, that they had decided, in conjunction with the CHP, because of what was happening up in Auburn and stuff that was happening from there, that they had closed every exit to the city off of the major highways that run through the city. They closed them off, basically saying, you're not coming into our city this way.
Yeah.
And
I have one word for that. Are you ready?
Well, yeah.
Rerouting.
Oh, I know. They can get in other ways for sure, but it just makes it that much more
Venus
difficult.
Was telling me that too. She's like, they closed all the exits off of 80 and 65 to get into Roseville.
Yeah.
And I went, what?
Yeah.
She's like, there was apparently news reports that people from Auburn were coming down to join protests, and the intent was to
say, not here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, so I told my wife, they could basically just run past Roseville and get off at the next exit and just come right back into town if they really wanted to.
Right. Heaven forbid they come down Taylor. Back
right.
door.
Yeah. I mean, but I mean, that was a very clever way of saying, look, and then also the Galleria, which is a huge mall here, The Galleria had every exit and entrance of the Galleria had posted officers.
Oh.
So that was the other thing that happened.
Hmm.
And it was weird to listen to them. Okay, well, we're done. You can reopen all the cancel the closures.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh shit, this is pretty serious.
This is a thing.
And I feel like they were doing what they should have been doing to like sort of protect the area.
Right.
Whether it was effective or not, I don't know. Whether there was they knew something that I don't know.
Right.
That wasn't ever said in a radio broadcast.
Right.
But somebody knew something somewhere.
Right. Oh yeah.
But the official channels that I saw
it's like one of those
never
things.
say
It's like
anything.
that tap dance that you figure that you have to expect is going on for political officials in the know. And that
Yeah.
is, if you're 100% brutal truth honest with the public, you could create just as much panic as
pure havoc.
as if you didn't and they got caught with their pants down. It's
Right.
like, there's a
fine line there.
Fine line between
Yeah. For sure.
broadcasting publicly that you're closing,
Yeah.
making closures. You give enough inference to your constituents
Yeah.
to like, okay, something.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be a little bit more like
I know.
aware, but I don't know what's going on. But I'm just enough to give them a hint without 100% total fucking batshit panic.
Yeah. It was interesting to say the least.
Mm.
I don't know. There was some stuff that was supposed to be happening down at the I think at the Civic Center in the Roseville, protesting stuff. The other one that concerns me is the police station, our maid police station, is not that far from either one of our houses.
Yeah,
really,
it's like pretty much right smack dab between us.
Yeah, but the thing of it is the downtown Roseville area. It's one street that basically feeds all the way down to the police station, and if they just keep on continuing in, right into basically my neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Funnel.
Yeah, it's a funnel exactly of who knows what, and you start like running through the shit in your mind. You're just like, oh
and
shit.
here you are. You're like following all this shit and downloading apps. You need to just stop downloading apps.
I paid for it too.
Oh, really? It was paid?
Well, I paid for it because the free one had the ads in it, and I got tired of fucking messing with ads, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm buying this. This is worth it right now.
We've got a panic situation located on Highway 65. Hi. Do you need this American Standard super wide mouth black hole long wanginator?
It'll flush 7
billiard balls.
billiard
You're like,
balls.
what was happening? What the fuck? You're trying to sell me a toilet.
I mean, it was just irritating because every time you would like go listen to a scanner and go back to the list, you'd get a fucking ad for some game. And I'm like, come on. You're just waiting for the little X to show up so you can kill
Raid Shadow Legends. You're like, fucking, I do not care. My life's in danger here, and you're trying to sell me clickbait.
Bejeweled.
Yeah.
You need to play Bejeweled. Fuck you, man. I need to know what's going on in the neighborhood.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Well, and I like went over to my neighbor's house, and I'm like, hey, man, you guys. And they're like chilling in their backyard, like drinking coffee and doing a crossword puzzle. And I'm like, oh, you guys don't know shit over here. I felt kind of like, the sky is falling, like that's how it felt. And then nothing happened.
Hey, Jim, do you know a 5-letter word for supremely agitated? Yeah. Panic, bitches. They're fucking closing exits.
You know a 7-letter word for an asshole neighbor that's coming over to my house all the time? I actually don't. Dickhead. I don't know.
Cock gobbler. That's not
That's
7.
not 7.
Is it? No. It's not. There's an app for it.
But anyway, there was a little bit of panic, and then at one point I was just like, I need
you
a
gotta
gun.
unplug.
I need a fucking gun.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have one, and I need one, and then I was at that point. I was like, okay, okay, just chill. It's cool. Listen to the scanner. Find out what's really going on. Oh, nothing. Okay, nothing's really going on.
Yeah.
So it was sort of much ado about nothing, but it's
Until it is. And
well,
to be
that's the
fair,
thing.
until it is. And then it's like,
That's true.
You know.
Well, you just never know. But the thing of it is this is what it is. This is exactly what it is. This is why it's so shitty, is because it's like terrorism, to be quite honest. When you have people who are protesting peacefully or trying to protest peacefully, and then you have these elements in there that are
agitators
sidewinding off of that and starting and up violence and breaking into places and looting and doing that kind of shit. So you see it happening. You watch it on the news. You see it happening on the social media. And then you start hearing rumors, and then you're like, "Oh shit, are we going to get fucked somehow?" Yeah.
You know what? Venus had up on her phone for, I think it was a protest that was just down the way over off of Douglas.
Yeah.
And I started to see this last couple days. It wasn't there at the beginning of most of the protests. But the last couple days, what you started to see is a lot of reporting, or it's almost vloggers that are live tweeting or live Facebook living, or whatever Facebook's little widget is for doing live broadcast. Like they're actively telling you, whoever was over here and was doing it was like, it's a peaceful protest right now. Everyone is being cordial. You know, they're trying to get their message out. You know, everyone is contained. People have signs. It's generally a positive environment for protesting.
Right.
There's no shenanigans going on.
Yeah.
I think I've started to see that more because of the instigators that have started spoiling the intent and purpose of the people that are protesting
and trying to do some good.
And trying to raise awareness for the issue that we're at. They're getting shit on by these instigators. So you're starting to see these like, "Hi, I'm embedded, and this is actually what's going on," and it's all being like either put up somewhere or documented. You know, there's going to be asshots that are going to cop your movement either way, and the more messages that there are of what's actively going on is the better.
Well, we had an interesting conversation today because my wife wanted to go somewhere. I don't remember where, but it was going to be somewhere near where there was expected protesting to be. And she was like, "Well, I'm not going down there if they're doing protest." I'm like, protesters are not the problem. This is fine. Protesting is fine. How many times have we been out in the town doing something and come upon a protest?
Yeah,
it happens not that often. I mean,
enough to where it's not abnormal.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, oh, shit, what are they protesting? I wonder what they're doing.
Right.
And that's fine. I'm okay with the protesting.
Yeah.
What I'm not okay with is the violence and the looting and that stuff.
Right.
I mean, that's just not cool at all.
Right.
Go home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We had an interesting conversation about that today because she was like, "Oh, I don't want to go there if they're." It's like, well, they're not the problem.
Yeah,
drive by and honk if you support them. That's great. I mean, honk honk, hey, cool. But if it's fucking fires are going on and cars are turned over and like people are shooting rubber bullets, get the fuck out of there because that is not a protest.
Yeah,
that's some other shit happening.
Right.
You know,
it's going down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it.
We're at the time.
Are we?
Yeah.
I feel like we could have gone on for...
I think it's worthy of going on.
Yeah.
But it pays bills.
It what? What?
I mean, we have to pay.
Oh.
We have to pay.
Oh, yeah.
One day when we have some OnlyFans account or Patreon.
Well, we only have so much space we can use on the server before it costs us more.
Right.
You know.
Right. But this was a good run over.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I hope just talking about some of this stuff. I mean, some of the stuff we want to talk about because it's a distraction from some of the stuff that we have been dealing with.
Right.
But some of the stuff we have to talk about because it
needs to be talked about.
It's like mental health thing.
Yeah.
Sort of. So
right.
I hope that it was engaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do too.
So thanks for listening, everybody.
We will catch you next week. Stay safe. Wash your hands.
Do the needful.
Do your part. Wash your ass.
Wash your ass. There's one other one, I think.
Yeah, there.
We got to get those down.
We'll nail it. We'll do it next week.
All right.
All right. Bye.